Portugal show. Better put myself on the screen. Oh, bom dia, alegria. And Matty seems to agree. Bom dia, alegria a todos. Desejo a todos uma quinta-feira feliz e saudável. So a happy and healthy Thursday to us. Quinta-feira. How are you all doing? Claire will be joining us soon. No, Matty, Claire is not the person Louise was talking about the other day. This is not the Claire you're looking for. It's a different lady. I think, and we're looking to get the lady Louise was talking about on the show at some point. Is that the lady whose kids phoned her up and said, Mum, we're thinking of making our house suitable for you to come and live with us in your old age? And Mum said, you've got to be kidding, I'm buying a farm in Portugal. And then she had to attend to the small detail of buying a farm in Portugal, which she did. And I hope to speak to her soon. And we'll find out who that lady is. We have Andrea here, Matty this morning, and Eusebio saying, top of the world, Ma. Well, first born deer of the day at least. So how about that? So 8:25 this morning, which will be 5 minutes before the new start time. I will talk to you about the new lineup towards the end of the show, I think, this morning, because I've had to attend to a typo in that design, which has delayed it a little bit. But nice one. I think that's Jimmy Cagney, isn't it? Top of the world, Ma. Is that Public Enemy #1, the ending there, which I've now spoiled for anybody who would want to watch that film made 300 years ago, possibly. Let's have a look. Who else is here this morning? Jim White's here. Hello, Jim. Looking forward to reading your book, sir. Antonio F. is here as well. Property sighting today, when, where, and how many today. So the property search begins after a bit of supping. Oh, yes, a picture to share of Andrea stand-up paddleboarding, which I think guest today, Claire, will approve of as a great form of exercise because she talks about those sorts of things, as well as making wine. How about making wine whilst paddleboarding? That should be a new Olympic sport, or maybe paddleboarding after drinking wine will be a very fun Olympic sport. She's here now, actually. Let's bring her onto the screen. Claire Bendel, good morning to you.
Hi, morning.
How are you this morning? Don't be sorry.
It's menopause disaster this morning.
Do you want to say more? Menopause disaster?
No, it's just you lose your head, and I forgot to download this studio so I could get on. But now,
oh, you're fine. You're fine. You saw my message to you. Hashtag calma, tranquilo. It's all fine. It's all good here on the Good Morning Portugal show. But I know it can be a little bit stressful when you made an appointment to be on the show and you haven't got the right software or whatever. But you're here now. You're here. Maybe we should have a drink of that wine. But it's not ready yet, is it? I don't think.
No. December, January is when the fermentation stopped. It's now stored. It's just aging. That's what it's doing.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Like all of us, I suppose. And with any luck, we turn into excellent wine. That
hopefully it ages well. Yeah.
Yes. Savoured and enjoyed by other people later on down the process. So, Claire, it's great to have you back because, of course, Fantastic 50s YouTube channel. Go subscribe there. I'll find that so I can put the link in so that people can subscribe there.
I haven't been doing so much with it lately. I don't know if you've seen, because I actually got a full-time job.
What? What are you going to do something like that for? Why?
You see, so we had a lot of trouble with COVID and a tenant in England. We had a house in England. So our tenant moved out and wrecked it 2 years ago in January. Oh, no, last January. So that's when my husband went off and I became fit because he was gone. So I could do my own eating schedule. And so that's when I got better.
Okay.
So that's not the problem.
No, I understand that. But it's interesting background for people to know about such ups and downs in life and how easy it is to get a job in Portugal. So let's wind back, if we may, because we first met when you were doing your Fantastic 50s channel. I think you're pretty prolific on there. I mean, it was the winemaking that came to my attention, obviously, but you do all sorts on there. You were on in the process. So tell us why you started that and what sort of things are on there for people to enjoy. Obviously, you mentioned a little bit there, but take us deeper into that journey of first of all, coming to Portugal before starting the YouTube channel. So can we wind back to there and tell your sort of
experience? Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Go on.
So my husband unfortunately had a brain tumor. We didn't know he had a brain tumor. He went to see 3 doctors. And the 3rd doctor did a neurology test. The first 2 said it was musculoskeletal, nothing to worry about, and take these pills.
Yeah.
He was at death's door, let me be honest. So he got a CAT scan. The doctor phoned up the hospital after he got the CAT scan and said, come to the surgery at 2 o'clock. And then we got there, leave Jessica outside of the doctor's office. And we were like, this is not good.
Is that
So we
your daughter?
walked in. This is our daughter, yeah. She
Oh,
was 11 at the time.
Okay.
11.
Well,
so the doctor took us in and said, I'm sorry, it's a brain tumor. Well, you just think death when you hear brain tumors. You really do.
Yeah.
So she said, I've got you a bed booked right now in the Newcastle RVI. And they were fantastic. They were wonderful. They saved his life. He had the operation the next day, 8.5 hours in surgery. And if you're going to get a brain tumor, get one like his. It was operable, removable, and non-cancerous.
Okay.
And since then, he's had another MRI, and it's not come back. And they took it out. It was behind his left ear.
Incredible.
Just a warning. He was using a phone at work all the time. Now, we can't say that it's related to that, but that's what we think it is. And it was always pressed here when he was on the computer, and it was always pressed there. And that's where the brain tumor was.
Yeah,
and someone's suing Nokia, actually, for saying his mobile phone gave him a brain tumor. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, what, Nokia fought back against that?
Well, at the minute, we don't know how the case is going. That was a couple of years ago, because these cases take a long time.
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. And if it were proved to be true, they would be in all sorts of unholy difficulty. So they're obviously going to be fighting that, aren't they?
They are, definitely.
Yeah.
So we decided that Mark could not work anymore. He couldn't work a physical full-time job. And we've been looking at Portugal before this, because I wanted a more sustainable way of life. And he did too, get out the rat race. So we found a caravan. We put our house for sale. We already had another house, but we put that one for sale. Got in the caravan, and I'd never been to Portugal. Mark had been to the Algarve on a holiday. I'd never stepped foot on the soil, and we just love it.
Fantastic. I think more and more people are just liking the sound and vibe of Portugal and moving here without having been here. You're not. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, you're not alone in that, are you? I mean, there's just something about the attraction of the place, which brings people here. So that's an amazing story. I mean, a heart-wrenching and difficult story, which produced a very positive outcome for you by the sound of it, but not without its twists and turns, it would appear as well. Which is life, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So now we live in this beautiful house. We were selling it last year, but to be honest, I couldn't find anything better or as good. Yeah. So we're not selling.
So the grass wasn't greener elsewhere. No. I remember. I think we showed the house on the show, actually.
You did, and it's stunning.
The universe must have been saying as well, no, they're not moving. So nothing happened.
Don't go anywhere. And our wonderful neighbours were like begging us not to go.
Oh yeah, Carlos, I've heard about your neighbours.
You'll see him in a few of my videos. He's just awesome. Olives, he's been in olives. He's been in grape viticulture. He does our vines, and he helped us make the wine. Helped more than he's the professor. He's the teacher.
Fantastic. So we'll talk more about making wine and growing grapes. It's not the only thing you do there. I mean, can we talk about Mark's business as well? Because he's an extraordinary craftsman, isn't he?
Business? He doesn't run a business.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby, yeah. Did you see he made an outdoor kitchen for us?
Amazing. So a professional quality, but actually a hobby, and just an incredibly gifted fella.
Yeah. He used to build PFI hospitals in the UK. He did curved walls, suspended ceilings. He actually did line-leaded X-ray rooms. He built them, and he's built a recording studio.
Wow, what a guy! What a handy fella to have around.
He's very, very handy.
Superb. Excellent. Okay, so there you go. Fantastic 50s is what we'll put in the comments so that you can subscribe to the channel. It is a varied feast, isn't it, over there? Tell us the sort of things you've got on there. I mean, it started out, didn't it, for women of a certain age? Is that right?
Absolutely. It was my friend Karen Carter Pearson.
Hello. Oh yes, I remember her. Yes. When you joined me first time, she was here, wasn't she? Yeah.
She's awesome. She's awesome. And she told me about the Canadian Air Force workout, the XCX.
Yes. Coming back to me. Yes.
I've never heard of it. And she said, well, it's for women. It's for men and women from 18 plus, actually. But Helen Mirren does it. She does the workout. She's 74.
She's a good advert for it.
She is. And it's really easy. So you touch your toes and you do side bends and leg lifts, and it takes 10 minutes out of your day.
Yeah, so fantastic.
And it got me really fit. And I did intermittent fasting as well. So I talk about intermittent fasting, losing weight, and I talk about cornucopia of things.
Yeah, absolutely, and including the Portuguese lifestyle, it would seem, with the grape growing, and that's the thing that came to my attention. Although before we move on to that, the fitness thing, I mean, we're starting a Growing Old Disgracefully program plan, and I'm going to get on board that. Can't get enough of the Keep Fit, and I'm sure I made positive noises when you were talking about your approach to fitness, but didn't really do anything about it. Thought I didn't need it probably, and now after another couple of years later, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I do. I can hear my knees when I'm going up the stairs. That's one symptom, isn't it, of aging?
Yes, I would say take apple cider vinegar, and I've actually got my own mother. I know your wife has got a Scooby, a mother.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
apple cider vinegar, natural. And we get our honey from around this area. We buy it in Pampiar. And I can actually see the trees where the bees' hives are kept behind there.
Beautiful.
Over a hill. So they come to my garden, and I have comfrey in the garden. So they get my comfrey flowers. They got all my lovely wild nature flowers, and they make the honey, and I buy it. And it's so dark, and it's amazing, because I don't know if people know, but honey you buy in the shops, not the non-expensive normal honey, they actually add sugar to it.
It's not really honey, is it? Really?
Yeah.
So you do right to buy it locally, because it has all sorts of extra benefits then, doesn't it? You're getting the local pollen, which helps with the hay fever, I think, as well. Not medical advice, everybody. No one needs to get their knickers in a twist about that. If you're worried about anything medical, as you heard before, it's worth going to see a doctor, and it's worth probably getting a second opinion from what Claire and Mark have been through as well.
Musculoskeletal and into something else. You're a brain tumor with apple cider vinegar and honey, let me tell you.
Certainly, she's not one of those people who'll be saying stuff like that on it. It's holistic and complementary. Okay, do everything you can rather than saying one thing or another is best. Right? You've got to go for what works, and that might be a number of approaches. So we're a broad church here rather than any kind of stereotype here. Talking of which, you're growing grapes. You're buying honey locally. I think it was with you when we had the chat about people like Carlos in your neighborhood. So when you go out for the day and you come back, you can leave your back door open. And not only can you leave your back door open, but when you come back, there's fruit just tucked inside the back door that's been left there for you from the You live in a neighborhood like that, right? But you're not the idea people have, of central Portugal, living on a pile of rocks that you're renovating. You live quite a normal lifestyle, but quite an alternative, almost off-griddy one as well, don't you?
Oh, I'm trying to go more off-grid, Carl, because of the trouble we had in England with the tenant who wrecked the house. We had to spend loads of money, and it depleted our savings a bit. And then we had to get a new tenant in who after 6 months left. So we decided that house prices were going up a little bit. So we've sold it now. But before we sold it, I got a job because the savings had been depleted. We weren't earning money for months because of COVID, because she couldn't move in, the new tenant. So I got a job. I work online, but I'm not going to do it forever. So, and that brings in money. And now I've got a social security number off the Portuguese government. So.
Not just a NIF number, but the SNS NIS number, NIF and a NIS, I think, is what we're talking about.
I've got the pack, I've got the residency, the NIF, I've got the URENT, and I've got the SIS number.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a terrible thing if it's true. The rolling comment is covering your guest face. I'm not seeing that view, and I'm horrified to hear that might be the case. Is that? I'm not sure.
You maybe need me to do this a bit. I don't know.
Is it rolling over your face, as it were?
I can't see it. I can see underneath, but obviously someone is.
I thought so. Maybe in this view it does that. I don't know, but we'll go for the long shot.
Too close to the wrinkles, guys.
Okay, back off. Okay, sorry. Okay, we're back. It's the same for me, because having moved house recently, there are a couple of things I can't find. I'm looking like Fu Manchu here or Imelda Marcos because I can't find the nail clippers. And obviously you can see
olive oil.
Yeah. Oh, is that what I need to do for the eye bags? Okay. All right.
And cold spoons.
We know about the cold spoons, but not straight from the freezer because you might end up in A&E if you do that.
Oh, no.
Okay, we can't find the iron either. In fact, I don't even know if we've got an iron, so maybe that's why I can't find it. But you can see
irons.
But that is a life hack for the 21st century. Don't bother with an iron. There are so many new fibers around. Unless you're, there are times, aren't there, when you want to iron a shirt. I think getting married is one of them.
Yeah,
there are special occasions, and that's what an iron is for. Not everyday use.
A jumper over a shirt. You just iron this bit.
I'm with you. Or even get one of those shirts that's sewn into a jumper that were around.
Then. Yeah.
And maybe get the Dickie Bow and shirt front while you're about it. Okay, lots of people want to say hello to you this morning. We have a couple of photos to share. That upright paddleboarding. Talked to Michael Heron yesterday. He said he was into a bit of supping. I thought it was drinking. Supping is stand-up paddleboarding. Turns out he's a peer, not a supper. He just paddleboards. He can't stand up on it yet. I want to be able to do that in San Martino de Porto Bay. And just look really.
We went there on holiday this year.
Did you? Oh, okay. Next year we'll see you here, and maybe we'll all go paddleboarding, and maybe we'll try
paddleboard. Oh my God, that's awesome! Well done, whoever that is. That's amazing.
I've got to get rid of the rolling screen for a
Is
moment.
that a lilo? Is that a paddleboard? Doesn't look like a paddleboard. It looks like a lilo.
I think it looks like a massive mobile phone, actually.
I love it.
And she's got her face right in it there, which is not recommended, as we found out before. But it is a paddleboard, and it's floating in the water, and she is pulling off that yoga. I think it's called an asana, isn't it? That is. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get to that. I mean, that's not even stand-up paddleboarding. That's yoga paddleboarding, isn't it? And they're celebrating their first few days in Portugal. Andrea, that is amazing. Quite incredible. Congratulations. Some of this for you. Yes. And I was going to invite people to send in their own yoga posture pictures. Why not? I might be bearing myself in a before picture before this fitness program. I'm negotiating with Mrs. M about exactly how naked to be on that. She doesn't want me to be too naked on that. And obviously not going to go the full Monty because
Borat, not do a Borat.
No, nor a Borat. I won't go that. Nor at a Borat either. Yes, maybe just like a 50s Hollywood film star stripped down to the waist.
Speedos.
You think Speedos? Okay, well, let's see. Mrs. M has the last word on that, not anybody here. Because I know if I leave it to the people here, I will just olive leaf or something like that for the pictures. But here's the a grapevine, yes, indeed. Be careful. There's no thorns on those. All right, so as you found out the other day when you were trimming your crop. Let's have a look here. Yeah, we spent the day, Andrea. I've not gotten as far as look. She loves the water. Not gotten as far as house hunting yet. Spent the day at the water yesterday, and then found a wonderful private farm camp for the night. We will plan the day after the Good Morning Portugal show. That's amazing, and thank you so much. Yeah, she says, bon dia, good morning to the best channel and people on YouTube. I've got to agree with you. It's such a lovely thing to hear and for you to say. Thank you. Bon dia, alegria from Thunder's Ear as well, from Thunder Duck in Lisboa. Get your priorities in order. Yeah, that's right. Play on the water. House hunting can wait for the moment. Absolutely. And yeah, sounds like a good plan. Good morning, Portugal, and coffee. then day plans. Absolutely right.
Awesome.
Stephen Wells is here, as is Mark, as is Deagle. Bon dia, alegria to you all. Bon dia, Carl, hammering down in a great Belfast. We're sorry to hear that, aren't we? What's your weather like in central Portugal this morning? Can we have a weather report, please?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. It's a little tiny bit of wind, but yesterday got up, I was in the car, 21 degrees.
Who doesn't start their day with a tiny bit of wind, though, if we're honest? This down the road from me, this is from a couple of days ago. Again, I need to take the banner off for just a moment. But I was walking Peggy and Jimmy, who sound like a couple from the Derby and Joan. They're the dogs, Jimmy Choo and Peggy Poo. And that's just down the end of the street on the Silver Coaster that you say you're familiar with. And did you enjoy your holiday here?
I did. Beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll catch you next time. More comments coming in. Francis in Cape Town. Bon dia todos. Finally got to go outside and it was good. Oh, yes, of course, because he's been quarantining. Bless him and his family. Those words, finally got to go outside and it was good. That sounds so sweet. And there's a pathos to that, isn't there? Hope all is well. Well, right back at you on that, Francis. I'm a big fan of the fermented as well as the coffee machines. Have you ever seen a coffee machine that looks like this, Claire?
No.
Me, I hadn't until yesterday. That's his coffee machine that he said. It's just excited for this one. Hola, Claire. So he wants to know about the brewing, which we will, or fermenting, which we will get onto after we've said hello to everybody.
Hola.
Good morning, everyone from Gemini as well. João F is here. Bon dia, todos in capital letters. And from Praia de Rocha, new arrival. Bon dia. Actually, you're a seasoned regular now after a week, I think, Victoria. How's it going? Bon dia, todos. De uma ensolarada, a sunny day in Praia de Rocha. And Gary with a bon dia to all.
Hi, Gary.
And the troglodytes of the man.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to you both in Casa Austin. Love to you all in Casa Austin. Morning from Gatwick Airport. Look, James Bond is here, international jet setter, Andy Gilchrist. And I think he sent a photo of Gatwick Airport. Can't wait to show that. Bon dia to Victoria from Antonia. Greetings from Harrogate. Sunny but windy. Paul counting down. Isn't it lovely? Do you like the tea rooms there? Have you been to the tea rooms, Betty's?
No. I used to spend some time in York where my daughter was at university. So.
It's the lovely part of the world, isn't it? But he wants to move away from it. Yes, Carl, the lady that decided to buy a farm during a phone call with their kids, we will have her on at some point. Our people are talking to other people about that. Buying the farm has a different meaning in the States. What meaning does it have? Can you say? Do you know what he means there, Claire?
No.
No, I don't either. Okay.
It may be something to do with like
illegal.
buying the cow and drinking the milk.
And what does that mean?
It's like you're buying your wife so you don't have to buy the milk. You know, that's.
Oh no, really? Get off your horse and drink some milk. They got some funny sayings. Doing a solid is one of my favorites at the moment.
Midlife crisis world tour. Now I've got to join him. He's great. Midlife crisis. What was that?
What was that in relation to? I wonder. White heat. My memory's getting so bad. I can't remember what was said 3 minutes ago at the moment. And it's not a bad thing. I live in the moment. Is how I. Same here. On my way home. Oh, that's good news. Sup, then sip. Get it in that order. Yes, that's right. I think that is probably the best advice so far on that. Looks like we'll have summertime till Sunday. So a good week here. Thank you, Antonia, for your weather report. Outside. Yeah, and I love it because the guests who are here in Portugal, I say, what's the weather like? And they go, and a big smile goes on. Oh, that's nice. That's what we came here for.
Not England, is it?
All right, no need to rub it in. Being 6 feet under, right? Oh, maybe that's buying the farm. My goodness. The rolling comments.
Buying the farm. See.
Okay, so well, I think we've sorted out. Yeah, it meant the life insurance. Oh, it meant the life insurance is paid off, not the mortgage. So nothing bad. And what I'd like to know as well is apparently, in central Portugal, you drive past these quintas and they've got maybe an eagle at the front or a couple of stone creatures. Apparently, and it might have been Gavo who mentioned this, that shows that you own the farm, that you've paid off your mortgage when you do that. I think we will find out. Somebody will know the answer to that. Well, at some point in the distant future, we all turn into excellent worm food. Well, there's a cheery thought. Thank you very much. true though. Yeah, no getting away from it. That was just me playing with YouTube. Please, after the events of earlier in the week, do not mess about with the internet. We can't allow that, can we? We don't want that happening again. Everybody marked safe after that. Kelele, where can you buy the most affordable land to wine farm? Okay, let's go to the wine conversation. So I still think you can get bargains, can't you, in your neck of the woods there? And what a fantastic part of the world to live in.
Yes, I'm sure you can. There's always land for sale. I mean, if you wanted to buy land, there's land down the road from me for sale, but it's not near a house. So you could go and spend time on your land and just live in a house. And I believe that option is a cheaper option, because a house without lots of land is cheaper.
Okay. Yes.
But you just got to make sure that you can drive to it on a morning, and then if you've got chickens or anything like that. So
yeah, okay. So maybe get a land in walking or cycling distance. That's quite a nice rural idyll, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you've got your house, and you can. Some people just don't want the upkeep as well of land, because buying a lot of land can be too overwhelming, I believe.
Yeah. Interestingly, talking of land, I'm trying to find the Grey Watch picture, because Ian's just put a comment in that's reminded me. I think Paul Richards knocked up an image of you doing your Grey Watch thing. I can't show some of these that you've sent me. I really can't, Paul. But was it you, Paul, who sent us our very own Hofmeister into the show? If you did, please send it again so that we can put Ian, who sent a comment in, into perspective here. Excited we have our first Grey Watch partners to begin the Growing Old Disgracefully course. It's going to be a great journey. I'm really looking forward to it. But back to winemaking, because that's part of it, living a good life and keeping fit. Great tip there. So if somebody is on a tight budget, they might look at buying the land separately and having it quite close to where they live. Maybe have a small cottage without land.
Yes.
But also, I mean, there are some bargains around, because I don't think modern young Portuguese people want to buy a farm, do they? They want to be in apartments.
They don't want to follow in their family's footsteps. They don't want to farm. And if they inherit it, they can sell it off. And they live in Lisbon, Porto, and they've got jobs, and they just can't do what their parents did, because they've been affected, I'm afraid to say, by consumerism.
Yeah, you're right. No escaping that either, is there? It would appear. Apart from this little margin of people who are exploring that here in Portugal, we might just hang on to it here in Portugal, that way of life, because I think the incomers are coming in to pick up that baton until the Portuguese want it back again, possibly, because it is such an amazing way of life. Yeah, for sure. So could you tell us a little bit about, for Kelele's benefit, we're looking at central Portugal, aren't we, for that kind of bargain, I would say. You what are the principal towns? What's it like living in central Portugal? What was the attraction for you?
The attraction was the land, and for me, I had to have it fenced, because I had 2 dogs, and one of them is a crazy poodle, doodle, labradoodle, and she just loves to escape. So I had to have it fenced. So I bought it fenced and all done up, and because my husband didn't want to do too much to the house, I've recently painted it blue wall. So,
wow.
He didn't want anything structural to do, which most people do, which is fine if you want to go there and build it to your requirements. But I've also heard that can be a little bit expensive from a few friends who've done it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we wanted not too much land, because that can become overwhelming. And we wanted it fenced, and we wanted a house that we could sort of rent out, but we didn't get one, because my little annex next to me is classed as a garage.
Okay.
So I went to the camera, and they said, "Oh, no, Claire, you cannot turn this into an Airbnb." And I was like, So we're actually looking for doing it up. We're going to do our little annex up, and that's going to be a project Mark's going to take on. We're going to have a bathroom. It's just one room above a top of storage rooms. We're going to have a bathroom, and that's going to be next to the bedroom, an open plan kitchen, living, wood burner to cook on as well, with a little oven. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yes, great idea.
Yeah, and I think solar water, so it's going to be sort of self-sufficient, and a little bit of solar power. We don't need too much in a little one-bedroom studio flat.
Of course, of
So, and
course.
my son or daughter can come and visit me then. That's going to be awesome.
Okay, so the as the Airbnb alojamento local door closed, you're just going to make
No.
something for your own. Oh, that's not going to happen.
Well, it hasn't closed, but we're going to make the studio flat into just for family and friends. But
Okay.
then we could also live in there during the summer and rent out this big 3-bedroomed house.
Okay, people want so subscribe to Fantastic 50s. People are loving the sound of this lifestyle. I think you can go on a great picking and winemaking retreat maybe next year in this house.
You never know.
Gary's
We've got
asking.
olives next month, olives. And to stand up an olive tree and pick the olives, and to stand on a branch that's absolutely worn down through years of people standing in it and picking in it, is just a joy and a pleasure. I love that.
Yeah, of course. You're not going to
I
get
love
that in a modern building or setting, are you? That is
Oh,
lovely.
no.
A sense of the
Beautiful.
ancestors. That's fantastic. That
I love
really
that.
is.
I've got my own favourite tree.
Yeah, well, everyone should have their own favorite tree. Do you talk to it?
I don't. I should do though.
I think it might be quite offended if you've got a favorite tree and you haven't been talking to it.
I will. I'm going to say hello later.
Please let me know how that goes, and, including how your neighbours respond to it as well. Congratulations, Claire, on your new job. Have to admit, rental property UK with the biggest backlog ever and a terrible eviction system made us sell up. So
yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
I mean, isn't it great to not feel the sort of the baggage of all of that sort of stuff? Let it go. Let it go. Bon dia from the Veggieholics this morning, who sound like they might like to live like you do and grow all their own produce there. Andrew, mate, hope the appointment went well and you have your card. Interesting. This is where he is this morning. This just in. The delightful Gatwick Airport, everybody. Looking very busy this morning.
Was it not Heathrow? No. Was it Gatwick?
I think he said Gatwick. And that's, I mean, I don't think Heathrow looks very different either.
No.
And that, to me, I've got to say, is a chilling sight.
I don't like it.
Me neither. Those yellow letters on that black background remind me of British airports, and the weather change that you experience all of a sudden when you go back there. So yeah, hope all's going well, Andy. Let us know what's happening. Others pleased to see you there. Clearly, look at this. Count von Paschetta is here. Few tenancies lead to court action. Do due diligence before letting. Vet your tenants. Sounds like Count von Paschetta might have quite a portfolio.
I've got to say that my tenant who wrecked a house was my son's ex-girlfriend. And we adored her. She was part of the family. She signed a 5-year lease, and she was really good cleaner. Her job was a cleaner and a carer, and she kept the house spotless. When we went there, she'd let cats in. Now, we didn't specify she could keep cats. She'd had 5 cats. And they had ripped wallpaper. So I did vet my tenant, and yeah.
I think maybe a little bit of unresolved emotional business going on there, possibly coming out in that situation. I am not an epidemiologist, nor what was the other one? I'm not a volcanologist, is what people have been saying recently, and I'm not a psychotherapist. But there might be something going on there of an emotional nature regarding move to Portugal. So here's a couple of 3 questions. I am contemplating a question. You might be able to help with this, having completed this process. I am contemplating the question: how to get all my stuff to Portugal, rent a truck and drive it himself, have a mover company, buy a container and have that transported. What would you say? 1, 2, or 3? And we've got some sounds for it. We've got that, and we've got. Oh, that was.
Shall we say that I used a removal company? They were good. I won't tell you which one, but
why not? If they were good, why not? Because you don't want to cause trouble.
Because I'm going to tell you how much it cost.
Oh, yikes! Okay.
And they cost €4,000,
Ooh.
But they only made me pay 1,000 through the bank, and the rest $3,000 in cash when they turned up at the door. So there's a bit of So that's why I can't name them. So
no, fair enough. Oh dear.
But that's how much it costs. I'm trying to be
Yeah, which I'm sure they declared. I mean, that's, because they just needed
I'm sure
they
they
just
did.
they just needed the cash for petrol and that sort of thing, because it's a bit
Petrol,
easier.
yeah, it's going up
I'm,
a lot, I
I'm
believe.
sure they did the right thing and filed
Yeah.
that appropriately. I've got a good recommendation for you. I know a bloke in Portugal who will probably drive to the Netherlands and pick it up for you if you want to take that route. He's moved. I'm one of his best customers, in fact. So, and I bumped into him on Friday. It was fantastic. It's great to see you, Terry. Terry's fantastic, and we'll come and get your stuff. And Matty's saying if he actually buys the container, he can use that later as a temporary home and even later rent it as a B&B. I'm really not sure about container living in Portugal with the weather conditions. Honestly, you might end up with a very big paperweight there. So I would go into that with
But Carl, here's the thing. So there are people looking to store their stuff until they find a house.
Oh, business opportunity. This is why you get paid the big bucks and why they've employed you here in Portugal. Yes, there's a good suggestion. But
there is people selling storage. So
it's true. There's the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to Fantastic 50s. I mean, the best thing really is to get rid of it all, Matty, I would say. It's fresh start.
No, my husband had work tools. My husband had fishing. We had a lovely leather couch, leather chair, beds that we brought over. So we brought over like our clothes, and to really replace that. Have you seen the price of furniture in Portugal?
I guess so. Although Jom have got a very good deal on at the moment, or maybe it's just ended. I'm just saying, no, I'm not sponsored by them yet. But Jom have got some nice stuff at a very reasonable price. I bought a nice half-price rug at the weekend. Not this one.
Lovely.
This is all my own. But I got 50% off a nice. You'd like it, I think. It's a very soft rug. And it has, it's like a soft Airedale Terrier. And I know Airedale Terriers, you touch their coat and it's like quite wiry, but it looks like that, but it's silky to the touch.
Soft.
Yeah, enough of my soft furnishing talk. At Count von Pachetta, I was married to a property litigator. This sounds like a great anecdote, doesn't it? In the UK for a decade, and she was cheap at £800 an hour. I'm sure she wouldn't like to be described as that. And very good. And I will have to agree to disagree. Fight. It's kicking off in the comments.
I'll do that. I'll agree to disagree. I'm fine.
Gary, great to see you again. So have you moved? No, Claire hasn't moved.
No, we're not moving. We're staying put. Can't find anywhere better.
Well, there you go. But it's the old human mind kind of gets to you, doesn't it? Shall we move? Shall we move? It's whispering to you, isn't it? There's got to be somewhere better. And
I've got a bit of wanderlust. Yes.
Yes, it happens, doesn't it? But it's good to know and be grateful for where you are, as well as you obviously are. Sounds like a great idea, Matty. So maybe Victoria, maybe our very own Pamela Anderson from Greywatch will make the journey from the Algarve to stay in your container. And Antonio F, the Portugueser from Sparta, there in his picture. The container might be the best choice. It's dividing opinion here this morning. UK lawyers typically charge $200 to $300. Yours really expensive. It's carrying on in the comments there. Come on, Pete. You don't have to leave it there, mate. Or no, Pete, don't. It ain't worth it. At the moment, I think movers is the way to go. Yes, possibly. Driving myself will cost me around $3,500 with the rental fee. Get a quote from Terry. I don't think it'll be as expensive as that. Or maybe I should manage that and just put a bit on top as well and just go in at 3. Healthy Move Portugal option 3 gig will be awesome and useful. Somewhere to store your paddleboard and your fishing gear. Maybe that is what we would do. Then movers is the most economical. We're working on this together as a hive mind. Isn't it fantastic?
That's wonderful.
And we haven't talked about wine yet, properly, have we? Not sure buying a used one is about $2,500 for a 20-footer and $3,500 for a 40-footer. Not sure about the transporting fees. How much does it cost to cut a window out of one of those, if that's what you do? Or do you just, put your Airbnb guests in it and shut the door? No. Fees, AMS to PT. Also not sure I have a spot I can park it in for 6 months or more. So I don't know. We will get to the bottom of this at some point, I'm sure, or it might be an ongoing thing like the like the domestic dispute lawyer that we spoke of earlier. Lots of comments to go through here and wine to talk about, brewing of. Most likely I'll do movers and then buy a used container. Okay, all right. I think we've settled that now. Debbie the Forager's here, who I think both you and I want to meet, Claire, right? Bon dia todos, just back from an early morning run in Braga, off to explore Peneda Gerês National Park today. Debbie the Forager, tell us what you discover and find in that wonderful national park. My aging philosophy is let those wrinkles twinkle. Yes. I love that, Les.
Really. Apart from high definition close-ups.
Apart from what?
High definition close-ups.
Oh, I see. You know, we backed off for both of us this morning. I love that Les Dawson joke. My mother-in-law's got laughter lines, but nothing's that funny. And you already had a spot here to park the container. Okay, enough of Matty's moving problems for a moment. We've got to talk about wine. Look, Paul Richards, Irish Cost for International. Look, everyone seems to know a lot about this, don't they, this morning? Matty, yeah, I will rent a house, yes, but it's not a big piece of land, so not the space. Matty, you need your own mattysmove.com, a website, maybe a forum or a Facebook group to discuss this, I think. Victoria, so glad you're here. Can't wait to meet up. And we will recreate that Grey Watch picture, which I have here now for your visual pleasure. The Hoff hasn't been done correctly in the middle. There's Victoria, though. You can see there, me and Jerry, of course. It makes you wonder why we need to go on a fitness course, but I just want to tone up that little bit more there. Andrew,
using weights is so good for your cow because you need strength in your muscles. As we age, we lose our muscle tone. So getting it back and being able to, I'm looking to my 60s, my 70s, my 80s, being able to get up and down out of a chair. You need to keep your muscle mass and stop it from degenerating. Just like you need to keep your mind active and do mind puzzles, your body needs to help you to move into your old age with strength and with ability.
Okay, yeah, I've noticed this concept or reality that you speak of with my posterior. I have to say, they were once renowned in the Western world for a pert bottom. It goes, doesn't it? Gravity
Absolutely.
and something else take their course, and it's you have to. So I don't know what exercise I'll have to do there. A bit of clenching maybe, or something like that.
For your bum, you need squats.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for
and
your
lunges,
help. Yeah, squatting and lunging. What's a great way to start the day at the gate?
Nothing to do with toilet habits, but yeah.
All sorts of things were going through the minds of these people here. I'm sure at the gate and about to board the plane. I might have a first event like this for Good Morning Portugal. What? Oh, I see. You're going to do a Facebook Live.
Have a safe trip, Andrew.
Yeah, safe trip, Andy, and good luck. Oh dear, this is still going on as well. Cost of lawyer prohibitive relative to amount to be claimed from tenant. I've been lucky, never had a tenant seriously fall behind with rent, never had malicious damage either, says Count.
Well, I wouldn't say it was malicious damage, but she also took things that weren't hers to take, like my wine rack. Talking of wine, she took my wine rack.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, it wasn't integral, but it was placed next to the cooker. So it was part of the kitchen.
You went too far. You just don't do that to people, do you? First the cat's on the wallpaper and then the wine rack. What is wrong with that?
Need a wine rack.
I want my wine rack back. It's bon dia todos. As you write, you only said greetings to the girls. Maybe she meant to only say good morning to the girls there. But thank you for that. Swipping in South Africa means drinking heavily, okay, which is something we don't encourage, although we know it happens here. It's my yoga board. It's a sup, not shaped as a sup, so it doubles as a yoga board, and of course, a cool headstand there. Oh, it's very impressive, very impressive. I just one more comment for the moment. Bon dia from New Jersey, from Jean. Good morning to you, Jean. Talk to you soon. One more quick one. Lots of paddleboarding in the Orbidos Lagoon, so let's go do that as well. That's a good idea. We could have paddleboard meetups, couldn't we?
My daughter, we bought her a paddleboard because we've got kayaks and we put them on the roof. Actually, my kayak, how to load a kayak onto a roof easily by myself, has had 6,000 views.
There you go. That's why you need to be describing.
And we bought our daughter a paddleboard, an inflatable one, so it could go in the boot rather than on the roof. So we can all go kayaking and paddleboarding. We go to Trezio. I don't know if you've ever been there. That's where I filmed my first or my second YouTube video. It's the episode 1, level 1 of the Canadian XBX workout, and it's filmed at Trezio, which is gorgeous. And we go there, we can drink beer under the trees, and then go out, and it's got a restaurant and a bar, and it's beautiful.
Trezio, supping and sipping there.
Yeah,
you know, that's the thing to do, and it's a bit like, you know, the needlework or knitting groups that women have, the old stitch and bitch. We could have sip and sup, couldn't we? Or whichever order we decide, but we can have sip and sup Wheat House. What an excellent idea. Oh, Gary, still to come, the Alvazra
Booze and board. How about that? Booze and board.
Booze and board. I think well, the name, with many names for this one activity that I think there's a lot of interest in. And so talking of booze and talking of sipping, before or after the supping. So talk us through why you decided to make wine and how it's going.
Well, my husband, we've made wine for the last couple of years. This is just the first time I've ever done a video.
Right, okay.
So my husband used to make wine in England and beer. So he's a bit of a brewer. Yeah. We went into Tesco's and bought strawberry Ribena and made wine out of it many years ago. So now we have over 150 grapevines. And Carlos, beautiful Carlos Antunes, love you, Carlos. He comes and he cuts the vines, and he says to Mark, "You're not allowed to cut your own vines." We won't let him cut him yet after 3 years.
Yeah, because he knows how they should be, and has been tending to this. It's his department. Got it, understood.
Since he was 12, I think he helped the family with their grapevines. This is traditional culture in Portugal. You do the grapevines. So we plant grapevines every January, February, new ones, because we go to the market and buy them. And Mark's now turning it into Templarino. He likes that grape variety. So it's a red.
Yeah.
How can I get to taste you one?
Not yet.
I think my husband's already drunk it. 207 litres we got, 207 litres.
Wow, okay. Sorry, that interrupted your flow a little bit there, but Carlos is tending to the vines on an annual basis. There you are in the video. And then your daughter is your video maker, isn't she?
Well, she did my video this time because my husband was busy picking the grapes. But yeah, she was good. She's good. She made a YouTube channel before I had one. So
amazing. And so there you were. You're snipping away. You got your secateurs. You got your big bucket. What sort of volume are we talking about of grapes?
Okay, buckets. We don't go by weight. We go by buckets. So we had about 6 full buckets, and Mark had gone that day to our friend's house. No, the day before, and picked 5 buckets off them. So we had 11 buckets all in all. And we used a special machine because we saw the house in England. We bought a new machine, not new, secondhand, new to us. And it actually takes the stalks off, because we used to do that by hand. And because I'm working full time, I said I couldn't sit there and physically by hand remove the stalks. So we bought a machine that does it. It's brilliant. It spits the stalks out of one end, chucks the grapes into the barrel at the other end. Fantastic.
Wow. And you can compost the stalks, can't you? That goes back on the land, presumably.
Yeah, the stalks are great. They and then we got Carlos's machine. We borrowed Carlos's machine, which is like the grape press. And it was stunning what he did. He turned up with this little basket, like a truck. And I thought, what's that for? He just brought his tools in it. But he hadn't. He placed it on top of the wine, which had now, it grows a crust. You've seen the crust, all the juices at the bottom, the crust is at the top, and you have to mix the crust every day for like 7 to 8 days. So we mixed the crust, and we did it with our paddle for our kayak, because we did have a little something else and it just wouldn't move them. There was a vast quantity of the grape casings. So we mixed it. Then we took the trug, he pushed it down, and then the juice flowed through it and stopped the grape casings from going in. And Mark was scooping it out and putting it in our barrel, which Carlos had aged. When you get a barrel, you can't just put wine in it. Buy a new barrel from a shop, you're not able to just put wine in it. You have to season it with aguardent and sterilize it. You have to move the rings. And Carlos came and did all that for us because we're newbies to owning a barrel.
Wow. What a lovely adventure.
Sorry, Carl.
Which is what a lovely adventure. This is the sort of life people are dreaming of. So go on.
Last year, our friends came over and they treaded grapes. They wanted to tread them.
Yeah.
So we let them tread our grapes. And they said it was the most beautiful experience and day they'd ever had. We made them lunch. We got them all round. There was Mark's friend and his mum and Mark's friend's wife. And they've got a nanny and the baby. And then there was me and Mark and our Jessica. So there was 8 people last year picking our grapes. And it beautiful day. We sat down and had lunch and ate things from the garden and drunk last year's wine. And it's just an awesome experience.
Of course it is. Amazing. So the crust is a must because
the crust.
Yes.
Yeah. So we let it crust and it ferments. It ferments. Mark did put 3 kilos of sugar in it, and then we mixed it up, and it's just to give it a bit more strength and depth. It be a little bit wine porty, sort of that kind of type. So you put the trug in, you get the juice out, and then you've got to get out all of the grape casings and put them into the wine, which is like a grape press. It's like an apple cider press in England.
Okay. Yes, understood.
Yeah, it's not electric. Carlos then had to build. Then you put once you've got all the grape casings in, you put a big round lid, and you've got a stem, a stalk of metal, and you put the lid down, and then you place wooden pieces like Jenga.
Oh yeah.
And then you put a metal. It's like a crank on top. And then you crank it and it pushes down the lid and squeezes out all the juice.
Oh, sounds amazing as well.
It was a river of wine juice.
What does that taste like? The first press? Is it too sour?
You can actually taste it, but Carlos said not to. When you pick the grapes first off and squeeze them, that's fine. But after 8 days fermentation, you shouldn't.
Don't want to. No. But a nice memory of your friends if they've been treading it with their feet, I guess.
Yeah, we've still got the video. And then you put it in the barrel, which has been seasoned for the full year. You squeeze aguardent into it, spray a fine mist of aguardent, and then I love my aguardent to make liqueur with.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
So that's what you do, and then you seal it up. And to seal it up for the to put the wine in, you use like a Vaseline. I took a bit of video of the product you need, and you use it inside the metal of the lid because the lid has metal. There's a little door of the wine barrel. That's how you get into it to season it. And on the back of that, it's got metal. So you cover the metal because wine is acidic. And it would eat into it, and it would make your wine taste terrible. So he covered it in Vaseline sort of product, I believe. Then you seal it all the way around with the Vaseline. Then you put the door on and you screw it really tight. Then you had to drill a hole. We had previously drilled a hole for the tamper, for the tap. Tornado, I think, or tornado for the tap. And then Carlos put that in. And then you fill it up from the top with a funnel because that's where the big cork goes at the top. That's the first time we've ever filled our wine barrel.
And so you've got one barrel of how many litres in there?
200 litres in there.
Get in, right, okay. So, and it's one thing, isn't it, to go to the supermarket and think to yourself, that's a nice looking wine. It's got a nice label. It's been marked down from $5.99 to $2.69. I'll have that. That's all right. Yeah. but it's another league, another experience altogether to do what you've done, isn't it? To go through all of that process and community and having lunch together and working with your neighbors and all that trouble and painstaking detail. And then maybe next year or a few years, you taste it. And what a special moment that will be.
It will be wonderful to taste our wine. That's because this is like the first time we've aged it in a barrel. You know, last year we only got 67 litres and it was in a plastic tub because we didn't, you've got to buy a barrel that is the right size for your grapes. And we haven't, unfortunately. Carlos thought we'd get 200 litres last year, but we didn't. It was not a great harvest. We didn't get 200 litres this year. So this year we'll be buying a barrel of 100 litres. So we'll be able to make our own wine, because if we can't go to our friends and pick their grapes, then we're only going to be able to make 100 litres next year. And that's 100 litres out of 150 grapevines. To give you an idea of what you could get if you're looking to buy somewhere and you want to make your own wine, count the vines and see, as long as they're mature. I mean, baby grapevines, we've had some for 2-3 years now because we bought them when we got here, and they're not producing a lot. Okay. So count your mature grapevines, and that's the ratio, 150 grapevines to 100 litres, I would say. Perfect. Absolutely amazing. So you the barrel must be full so that there isn't air in there. Yes, if there's air in it, it will taint and spoil the wine. Yeah, so, I mean, this brewing and fermenting is amazing, because you mentioned before, didn't you, about cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and how Mrs. M had a mother that, you know, and a lot of modern people would chuck that away, wouldn't they, thinking it had been contaminated. But this is the organic process. And I was looking for some honey this morning when I was making Mrs. M a cup of tea, and I was thinking, what's in that jar there? It's like, kombucha SCOBY in that one, which I've got kombucha and the cider vinegar. I've got both now. So it's all I did, Carl, with the kombucha was I ripped off a piece of the kombucha SCOBY. Yeah. And put it in to chopped up apples from my trees, which is wonderful. Yes. And then water, spring water out of the natural font, not the municipal. And I put that SCOBY on top, and it's gone from brown with the tea SCOBY, the kombucha, to white with the apple cider vinegar. I see. So the acid balance has changed, and you've got a nice, crisp, clear drink there. Yeah. So fantastic. And that's going to be good. But I've got to say, there was another process, one last process with the wine. Yep. Carlos sent us to the local agri shop with a bit of paper, because that's where we bought the barrel. He knows we're his friend. And he said, this is from puts his name, Carlos Antunes, on the bottom. And I had to buy, I don't know, 100 grams of this white powder. I don't know what it is. No idea. You put it in a bag, and it costs like €1. And I'm like walking out with a white bag of powder thinking, I hope the GNR aren't now. And then we got it home, and that night, Carlos is wonderful. He stopped his car outside the house after work, jumped out, knocked on the door and said, Mark, right, we need the white powder and some water. Mixed it up, put it in the barrel of the wine, and that was the last process. I don't know what it is. So we don't know what. I mean, I've heard of finings, wine finings. I don't know if you heard that. It could be that. It could be. We don't know what the white powder was, but it helped Carlos work all night and make wine. Fantastic. We don't need to know. We just want to taste it. So when will it be tasted? December. We'll turn the tap on in December, probably Christmas Day. And try it then. Yeah. Okay. Well, and then think to yourselves, okay, well, we'll finish it this Christmas because it's brilliant. Or if you want to, you can leave it a little bit longer. I don't think it could be finished 200 litres. I drink white wine, Carl. I drink white wine. Okay. Right. Red. But I do get a bit of red and put a bit of lemonade in it. As my husband's dad said, I'm a Philistine. Yes. Well, others might be saying that, but you have it how you like it. That's the important thing. Absolutely. So. What a lovely story. We got there in the end, didn't we? The story of the white. Well, it's been a pleasure. I mean, you've been very generous giving us an hour of your time. It's so easy to chat and have fun. I've got to go and clean the chickens out now. That's my job of the day. Of course you do. And then go to work at 1 o'clock. I've just got to say, if anyone wants a job, Okay, send me an email and we'll discuss it, because if you get a job through my company or another company who I know is hiring, then I get a bonus.
Well, let's make that happen. What's the email address? What email address? I mean, people are looking for work, Claire, no question about it. So what is the email address?
That. So the email address is Claire Bendel.
Yeah.
57.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, 204. I get it wrong. Okay. I had Claire Bendel 204 at gmail.com.
Oh, where's my at sign? The at sign, it seems to be a different place. Now I've changed the tabs instead of putting an at sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, if I can get the brackets in the right place, or I'm going to put an asterisk. Okay, so maybe the bots won't pick it up and spam you loads, but people will get the gist of this in the comments. So Claire Bendel 204 at gmail.com. And if they're looking for work, it's online work.
So it's online, so it's more customer service based. That's what I'm looking for. Customer service.
In Portuguese or in English? Okay.
I can't speak Portuguese. I'm muito difícil.
Okay, all right. That sounded all right to me. Okay.
So I'm looking for Dutch speakers as well. Italian speakers. I think you might. It's not just English, Dutch, Italian, Spanish. Bring it on.
Well, you might have made a few people happy this morning, because that's another string. You might have a massive bonus coming your way as well. Fantastic, Claire. Wonderful to speak to you. We left it too long.
Thank you, Carl.
Let's not leave it so long next time, and we'll see you again
soon. Taste the wine in January. We'll have a party.
You're on, and if not, bring some to San Martin de Porto next time you're here.
Yeah. I will.
All right, ciao.
Thank you, ciao. Bye.
For now. There she goes, Claire Bendel, everybody, with a job offer. That doesn't happen every morning here, does it? I know I'm well behind with your comments. What's new? It's moved to Portugal Thursday. We heard the story of Claire and Mark there. What an amazing story it is too. And what a lovely life they live, making wine and liqueurs and the hard stuff as well, does Claire. So check that video channel out and subscribe to be kept in touch with all that they're doing over there in Central Portugal. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, so let's check in with your comments and photos and whatever else you want to share with me this morning as we just take it easy for a few minutes and see what's what. Capricorn 12 has a good one. Kenny Burke's rising to the top. So for those of you working on the collaborative playlist in Spotify, all the old funkers, a track for everyone around the world working to and achieving their goals, rising to the top. It is a thing of beauty. 7-day countdown. Good morning, Portugal, from Capricorn 12. Nice tune. Thank you very much for that, Capricorn. And always wear comfortable shoes, as our sidewalks can be rough. Okay, so Victoria, I think we might have missed something. Okay, this is the one I missed. No beach walk yet. I walked city side all day yesterday. So getting a slow start today. Got a new pair of Nikes and I'm going beachside after the Good Morning Portugal show is over. Fantastic. Pictures, please. Whoops, still learning, says Debbie. You're doing fine. Don't worry. When anyone gives you a Portuguese language correction here, it's well meant, and it's great actually. We get excellent tuition from the community here, and you're doing great, Debbie, by the way, with it. Send you a pic on WhatsApp of the bathing suit. So this is how Matty thinks I should dress for my before and after pictures. This isn't too revealing, is it? Do I have to grow that tash as well? That's going to cut a dash in San Martinho de Porto Bay, isn't it? Maybe, Matty, maybe. Okay, thank you very much for that. Comfortable shoes. Capricorn, are you on? Yes, Capricorn on the way to the Algarve as well. There's going to be a dance party there, but probably sooner than I get there. Good morning, Claire. I've been listening carefully to your story and impressed and thrilled that you're building a new happy life in a good neighborhood in Portugal. From Joao F there. Thanks, Joao. Very sunny here in Fundão. Weather report from Central Portugal. A robot pool cleaner, excellent. So it worked out. Idiot who didn't put on sunscreen, not so good. Pete, Lobster Pete today. Can't wait for the videos of that race, although Alex has not posted anything in a while. All good with them. I wonder what that is. I can't place that. Good morning from Denise Kearney this morning. Good morning to you, Denise. Looking lovely in your photo there. Debbie Forager saying to say, estou a aprender a as boas-vindas a qualquer ligação. Well, yes, of course. I think I agree. The joys of having 30 goes. Just too much work on Alex. Oh, okay. Molly Two Legs and Sandra are all great. Chatted to them yesterday, so all is well there. And Facebook user, always interesting. Buying the farm, what does it mean? I've never heard that, but I'm from California. Scroll back that Facebook user and you'll find out from Thunder. No biggie. Portuguese is very difficult even for us. That's the thing always to remember, that not all Portuguese people can speak Portuguese or to the highest level. It's fascinating, and they will argue about things, and there will be vox pops. I've seen it on telly where they ask Portuguese people in the street, how do you pronounce this? And they don't always get it right. So there's hope for us all. Send them my regards, says Matty. And Andy, are you all set for tomorrow? Man cave. Zay, I'll keep practicing. Do keep doing that. My neighbours, says Count von Pachetta. Are you really a count? My neighbours have a statue of a lion in their front garden. Didn't know what that signifies. It's the pampas grass you need to worry about, maybe not the lion. Buying the farm is 6 foot under. So that's one, but paying off the mortgage was the other that's in progress at the moment. Maybe we'll resolve that by the end of the show. Maybe we won't. Oh, and the Eagles mean that they're a Sporting fan. Sporting Lisbon. Okay, it's not getting any simpler. Don't catch the bass. The season is over. Over there, says Pete, with a bit of a fishing tip there. That land and house separated idea is not for me. I want my house in the middle of the land, maximum distance to the neighbours, and free-range dogs and chickens on my land. There you go. Michelle's here as well. Bon dia from Inishvale. Missed you on Tuesday morning, Michelle's on me, Todd. But great to hear from you in Australia. I have the feeling, says Joao F., that you are on process of fully becoming part of the Portuguese community. That's to Clair. I hope we will watch this back later. All it takes is to allow growing a bit of a Portuguese soul. What a lovely way of putting it, Joao F. Yes, what a lovely thing. It can't be measured, but it can be seen. I don't understand why people buy a house with land not next to it, but a bit further away. It was Count von Pachetta. That was as a bit of a money-saving tip. If you want more land, and then just have a little toddle to it or ride your bike over there. I'm excited. Denise says that I finally made it to Portugal since October the 2nd. Well done, and can watch your show in real time. Looking to buy a house or land and prefabs and place prefabs near Cascais. Interesting. Prefabricated buildings. That's quite a good choice. Prefab, of course, means something a bit different in the UK, but I know what you mean. Also looking to meet new friends, says Denise Kearney there. Shouldn't be a problem over there in Cascais, I would have thought. You're talking to me. So some De Niro action going on as well. Peter Bleach, no worries. There in Florida, bass fishing is a huge sport. I always want to say bass. I have nothing... all about the bass. I have nothing but love and respect for fish. I always do catch and release as well. I floated over then and just watched. Okay. Have you got any pictures of the land pre-fenced and post-fenced? So hopefully Claire will pick that up. But subscribe to her channel and get in touch. She's given her email address as well there. Good morning, Long. Where you been, Mr. P? I know why he's tuned in this morning, because there was talk of wine. I only have to mention wine, and Mr. Perkins is here. Portugal's young don't have any choice but to leave the land. Yeah, it's not viable to live on unless you have an alternative income like most expats do. True story, Eusebio. I hope that changes. I really do. Great tips, Claire. Where can I subscribe? Okay, we put that in the comments there. Should be able to scroll back, Denise, to that. I'll do it again, hopefully, before we finish today. I'm going to finish with a rousing anthem from Al Viagra, as you would expect, this morning. Their local anthem featuring a lot of the people of Al Viagra. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that, Garvo. I'm getting on the plane, leaving on a jet plane, going into flight mode. See you lot tonight. And the Lisbon Man Cave. Tomorrow, that will be when the troglodytes and young primates gather with their various calls, mating calls, calls of aggression, calls of pecking order, that sort of thing. Wow. I was actually talking to Claire, but I feel the same about any of the rest of you expats who've chosen this country to live in and become one of us. Nice one, Joao. Zay, don't forget to register as an Airbnb at the City Hall. Yeah, the AL license, of course. You need to follow some requirements as fire safety, etc. Not a big deal, but you have to do it. Well said, Zay Pedro Martins this morning. Never let property to family or friends. That's Count von Pachetta's secret there, or property tip this morning, becoming a property magnate. I have a quote. Oh, back to the moving stuff. I have a quote from a mover for 15 cubic meters for about just under 2,000 euros there, 1,800. 4,000 euros for a moving firm is reasonable for a small load. 1 or 2 person household to move to. You got to talk to Terry. Absolutely talk to Terry. Above figure is for 25 to 30 cubic meters, $4,000. Wow. Benefit of movers is they will carry my stuff downstairs from the 4th and 3rd floor. I have a maisonette and are responsible if anything will be broken after the move. He's really thought about this, folks. We're thinking of borrowing a horse box to bring our things, Matty. Yeah, okay, make sure you leave the horse behind, with the owners, of course. Michelle, I'm still in your debt. I still haven't been able to send you the information I promised you. I've been overworked these days. I'm not telling you a poor excuse. Just need a little more time. I'm sure Michelle will be cool about that. This flight is packed full before he goes into flight mode. The flight from Gatwick to Portugal is full again, by the sound of it. Safe journey, mate. And that's coming from a few people. Not sure about containers accommodation during summer unless your guests are in the Tenko. Into the Tenko trip. You know what? I have reservations about the container thing. It will cost so much to insulate it and put windows in it that I just think you're better off going the prefab route that Denise is talking about. Don't want to pee on your chips there, but I think it doesn't quite work out as good as an idea as it seems, I would say. Stay handy, and at least it is a short flight. A couple of hours in the air, mate, and you'll be back at home. Your true home, your Portugal soul home. No rush, João. I'll be grateful whenever you have a little time. So take it easy, mate. Calma, tranquilo, as you might say. Oh, this is going back a bit. My goodness, half an hour. We're here to keep Carl's mind sharp. That's true. Absolutely. Carl, listen to The Beautiful South. The Prettiest Eyes is about crow's feet. A lovely song, and the video made in Lisbon, early 90s. They wrote some good songs, didn't they? I mean, Paul Heaton, is it? What an incredible lyricist. And a bit of a geezer, I think, on the QT as well. So anything that celebrates crow's feet, I mean, look at them bad boys, has got to be a good thing. I'll check it out. Not going on our jazz funk playlist. Maybe we need another one, a collaborative playlist on Spotify there. Thanks, everyone. I send you all love and have a great day from Andy. Antonio's got to go. Take care, mate. See you again soon. Have a great day. He's saying, Andy's here, popping in as he does via Austin. Bon dia. Bon dia, I just popped in to say bon dia. I rented a van, gave a mate 200 quid plus tolls, fuel, tunnel, and him and his son drove all the clobber down and stayed for a few weeks holes. We stayed in the UK and drove back. He was well happy, says Andy there, in his old Cockney twang. I've brewed beer and do a weekly kombucha batch. That's a good name for a brand of kombucha, isn't it? Kombucha batch, brewed by the Gersbach Brewery. Excited to hear more about winemaking, and Portugal reminds me of Cape Town, a great wine region, of course. Do you use barrels or tanks, and how was the harvest? So there you go. We talked about seasoning your barrels, didn't we, earlier on, and Vaseline, and then screwing it real tight. Do you do an inventory report before and after tenancy? So Count, we need to do a show with you separately, Count. How about that? The property rental special with Count von Pochetta. Are you up for that? That would be quite a useful thing, I think, for the expats here, one way or another. Let me know. Let your people tell my people, or just send me an email, basically. How do we get to taste the wine? Don't worry, I'm on it. And saping, Afrikaans word for having a good old drink. Saping. Thank you very much for that. How long does it take for a wine or a vine to produce a decent quantity of grapes? I don't know. Someone else will answer that, won't they? I have to leave again early today. Bon dia, todos. It's just us going on too late, quite frankly. Monday, we'll see the beginning of the 8:30 start. See what I did there? On-time departure. Cabin to cross-check. And he's in the air on his way. We used to get an annual rent paid in wine from a tenant in Amaranth. Not a bad arrangement. Did she get corn plasters in the wine? It could happen, couldn't it? Adding to the flavour, of course, Chateau Mate's feet. Love that. The link to the winemaking video and to subscribe is there. Denise wanted that, didn't you? Nigel Henry, morning all late today. Very interesting listening. Isn't she fabulous, Nigel? I hope everything's well in the Casa Henry household there. Count von Pochetta. Anyone got a recipe? I want to do your voice in a sort of rich and fruity. My name is Count von Pochetta. I own many properties. Anyone got a recipe for what to do with all my persimmons, my diaspiro? Nespera as well, right? They're called. I saw somebody selling them on the beach walk at the weekend, and I love persimmons. They're a very difficult thing to ship, aren't they, for the supermarket? So you don't see them very often. But that's got to be a liqueur. Yeah, I mean, eat them fresh. Get in the bath with them and just rub them all over, and then maybe make liqueur with what's left, perhaps. Wear trunks. Ha ha! Sending you off to buy the finings, clump stuff, and makes it settle out. Okay, so that's what the white powder was. Thank God we've settled that. Claire Bendel 204 at gmail.com if you want to explore that job offer, which is, I believe, online or telephone-based customer service. Thanks, Claire. From Francis, fabulous. From Beverly Maidman, bon dia. From Kate. Kate's here. Good morning to you. I love your picture, Kate. Capricorn, where are you moving to in Portugal? Guess what, Victoria? Be the Algarve. Sarah Exton's here. Hello, Sarah. Looking forward to seeing you tonight. 9 p.m. Expats Portugal plan styling. Really looking forward to our first chat tonight with the premium plan. Enjoyed listening to Claire this morning. Wasn't she great? Eagle Benfica, Lions Sporting Lisbon. Nothing to do with the mortgage. Eagles Benfica, yet Lions Sporting. And Dragons Porto. So there you go. Now we know. Claire answered my questions. Fantastic. Not a huge soccer fan, says Matty. But now I can't put Dragons on my land without thinking of Porto. Who's Terry? Terry Cartledge, great guy. TC Removals on Facebook. Check him out and mention my name. It won't help necessarily, but... well, it won't help, but just give him my best regards, won't you? His prices are great anyway. No mates rates or anything like that. He's just very good value, I would say. Carl, no biggie. Can do all remodeling of containers myself. That includes insulation, air conditioning, and heating. What about cutting windows? Are you bringing your arc welder with you? I wonder. Want to have less stuff and minimalize when we move. The chases were great, talking about essentializing. That's another stage further. South Africa to PT. I know our houses are much bigger and furniture might not fit after moving it all through. It will be nice to keep what sparks joy and refresh the rest. That's a great, that's an excellent philosophy there. Carl's email doesn't seem to be complete, says Beverly Maidman. Right, okay, what I did there, because I couldn't find... Every time I open this computer, the @ key goes to a different place, it seems. So what you need to do is Claire Bendel 204, don't cut and paste that, then put a proper @ sign and gmail.com. Okay, that's what she gave me. I hope it works. Jeff Jackson, good morning to you, sir. I'm late to the party. Bon dia, alegria todos. You can dry persimmon and they get even sweeter. I can imagine dried in the Portuguese sun, Gary Austin, looking like the fella from Breaking Bad in your picture there. I guess I missed the job offer part. If my current employers plan to hire me from PTR, if they don't, I guess you will get in touch. And they want Dutch speakers, she was saying there, so that could work. I get the asterisk is an at. Duh. Sorry, no, it's fine, Beverly. It's early still, right? I realize that the price of moving a 3-bedroom plus a flat and having to sell what doesn't fit doesn't justify not selling before leaving. I think our second-hand market is stronger. Our second-hand market is stronger here, so we'll see, says Francis. I'm maybe having second thoughts already about minimalizing. If that plan is not going to work, I'll get in touch. Somehow that part was lost in transit. Okay. Lost in transit. There's a moving pun, if ever I heard one. Not intended, I suspect. Okay, so a couple more things to share with you before we go today. It's a long one. It's a big one today. Do like to give you a big one in the morning, a long one in the morning. That was especially for you, Gary. And I want to share with you this. Look, the new schedule. Can you notice what is wrong with this? As it's on the screen there. And one of the fabulous people in that picture, these are the regulars on the show, okay? And I will tell you who they are in just a moment when I put the corrected graphic up. But look, Philomena, I tagged everybody in this new schedule photograph. Starting next Monday, 8:30, we're going to start. Our guests will come on probably at 9. Some will want to join at 8:30. Some really won't. But we're going to start earlier and finish earlier. That's the theory, okay? Please help me with that. But you can see here, when Philomena got in touch with this morning, fantastic Philomena, with her proofreading skills. Look, we've got 3 Mondays there, folks. We love Monday so much on the Good Morning Portugal show that we decided to have 3 of them. So that is incorrect and well spotted, Philomena. Here is the right version. There you go. That's like an animation, isn't it? It's almost like an airport departure board. There's your right version for the Good Morning Portugal new autumn schedule. A little bit late, a little bit into autumn now, aren't we? But starting at 8:30, and I'll talk you through. Well, you know who's on the screen there, don't you? If you've been watching for a while now. But Mondays we have a visa update with Gilda from A or EI, as we tend to pronounce it to make it a little bit easier, and of course Sarah Davey. Fire Davy, known to some, who will join us on the occasional Tuesday, which is Homes, Money and Business Day, terça-feira. And of course, Paul joins us, who you can see there as well. Paul Correa, with a bit of wealth management and advice, and a bit of a laugh and a bit of fun with him talking about investment. The Doc, of course, the dearly loved Doc, ever popular Doc, here on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday. Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesdays. Michael Heron to my right there. That's me in the middle, of course. And to my right, Michael Heron, who was here yesterday, here for the first Wednesday of every month. And then Jenny B. Don't be fooled by the yurt that she's got. She's still Jenny B from Central Portugal. That doesn't really rhyme, but you know who I mean. Jenny B there on the first. I think she's the first, isn't she? First Friday of every month. Feel Good Friday with Jenny B. Feel Good Friday with Philomena as well, who's here on the 2nd. So she'll be here tomorrow. Philomena will be here tomorrow with special guest, who is a real character from Central Portugal, from her neck of the woods as well. So Philomena and friend tomorrow, but she joins us every 2nd Friday, and Mia on the 1st. Mia is, did I say the 1st? The 4th Friday. Sometimes the last Friday. We've got a little bit of flexibility there, and which we fell the wrong side of last month when there were 5 Fridays. But the 4th, usually last Friday of the month, talking about Portuguese language, learning the language, and about the culture with Mia Esmeres, who is our partner in learning about the Portuguese language and culture. What a lineup. What a fantastic bunch of people you see on the screen in front of you. Visa update on a Monday, Homes, Money and Business, Consumer Tuesday, Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday, the Move to Portugal interview. You heard it from Jacqueline. She's called Jacqueline Claire Bendel, I think is her full title. She is known to us as Claire Bendel, and we heard about her move to Portugal story, and of course her wine making as well. And Feel Good Friday, whoa, sexta-feira, the only day with sex in it. Sexta-feira, Feel Good Friday with the likes of Jenny B, Philomena and Mia. What a fantastic lineup. Moving into autumn with that, folks. Isn't that wonderful? We will finish today with a, yes, okay, well spotted, 3 Mondays and too many heads. You can't get too many heads. What? Oh, cheeky. Easy Tiger, says Beverly, responding to some of my comments there. Oh, and White Heat, of course, not Public Enemy #1. Look at me, Ma. I'm on top of the world. And blast of machine guns, if I remember rightly. I'm also trilingual, I try and speak the language, right? Oh no, I'm trilingual, speak English and Afrikaans, and try to speak Portuguese. Nice one. Francis, I will be, actually I can take the graphic off the screen now. I think you get the idea there, right? Alvazra anthem to come to close the show with, but Matty, well, I'm learning Portuguese, which will be my 4th language. So there you go. Aside from the many computer languages I've learned in the past, what a renaissance man you are. I think when daylight saving kicks in, that timing may actually be half hour later for me. But I've been wrong once before, aren't we all, with these daylight saving things, even though we've been on the planet for decades. Still, for some of us, the dyscalculic, would that be us? It could get us wrong. It could be wrong foots us every year, just about. Not really dealt with daylight savings, except really late footy games. Oh, okay. Needs must, right? And Matty, take my hat off to you. I'm far off being fluent in my mother's language. Well, that's very honest. Okay, fantastic. Best wishes from Michelle to Claire. Best wishes in your endeavors, Claire. Thanks for the show. And have we missed some? No, I think we're good. I think we're up to date, apart from the Alvazra anthem. And this in from Paul, actually. This is a Portuguese home. There you've got your land and you've got your home in one place. 25 million euros for that Portuguese palace. I don't know where it is. That mystery, I'm sure, will be revealed at some point. We may come back to that on a Tuesday, right? Of course, where I think we're going to feature more homes and property on Tuesdays. But that one you can buy for 25 million. Nice bit of topiary, madam, on your front lawn there. Hi, Sarah. I found it great fun and learned so much. That's thanks, Sarah. You're still very welcome, Michelle. You know that. Talking to Sarah about the Expats Portugal plan. Thanks for a great show. It's my absolute pleasure. Let us then share with you the anthem before we go this morning, and try and remove that picture from the screen. There it goes. So there goes Paul's property pick of the day. And here comes the Alvazra anthem to see you on your way today. Thanks, everybody. Been a great show. Thanks especially to Claire, of course. And we'll see you tomorrow with Philomena. Ciao, ciao.
Deito os pés nesta terra, com fé no destino.
Rios de almas e gentes, rotas de peregrino, campos de ervas e flores, cantam teares e pastores.
Rotas de peregrino,
campos de ervas e flores, cantam teares e pastores,
amigos à volta da